The tranquil quiet of the California desert was just shattered by a financial report so staggering it has sent the WTA board into a complete panic. Ticket prices for the Indian Wells Tennis Garden have absolutely exploded. This is all for the opening match between the phenom from the Philippines, Alex, and the veteran Dayana Yastremska. We're getting breaking news that the official ticketing website apparently melted down under the strain of millions of fans. The untold story here is that in just 60 seconds after tickets went on sale, the entire primary market was completely sold out, causing resale prices to shoot into orbit. Resale markets like StubHub and SeatGeek are allegedly showing tickets that originally cost $50 are now going for $5,000 to $7,000. The brutal truth is that it is now more expensive to see Alex Eala play in person than to get a courtside seat at the NBA Finals. A tidal wave of information is crashing over the tournament's executive offices. The WTA's top brass is in an emergency meeting, having never witnessed an unseeded player ignite this kind of financial firestorm. Industry experts are absolutely floored because the ticket prices for Alex Eala's debut have now officially blown past the cost of the men's semi-finals, which feature absolute legends of the sport. One seasoned analyst was reportedly heard having a meltdown live on the air saying, "This has stopped being a tennis match. It's a gold rush. The Pinot Army just turned this desert into the most valuable real estate on earth for one night." This incredible demand is shattering every traditional business model the sport has ever relied on. But the most insane part of this whole situation is the VIP box scandal. Word is leaking out that wealthy Silicon Valley billionaires and Hollywood celebrities who typically get their tickets comped were completely shut out by the digital stampede of Filipino fans. They are reportedly freaking out, offering astronomical sums of cash to any fan who will give up their seat. One billionaire apparently offered $10,000 for 2 seats in the lower bowl, only to be shot down by a Filipino family who told him, "Our pride isn't for sale." This level of loyalty has left the elite completely speechless. The power in the stadium has shifted to the fans, and the financial might of the establishment is proving useless against the passion of the Philippines. The panic in the IT department is now off the charts. Sources claim the servers are being slammed with 5 million simultaneous requests every single minute. The total radio silence on how many seats are actually left is starting a digital riot across social media. Fans are absolutely furious, claiming the tournament is hiding the real numbers to keep the crowd size down. But the shocking truth is that the organizers are simply terrified. They understand that if they fail to move Alex to Stadium 1, the gates at Stadium 3 could be completely overrun by thousands of fans without tickets who are ready to pay anything just to hear the sound of her racket. The reaction in the locker room is one of utter helplessness. Sources say that Dayana Yastremska's team feels like they are under a psychological assault. They get that they're not just competing against a single opponent. They are competing against a worldwide economic force that has turned her into the most valuable athlete in the world tonight. The pressure is unbelievably intense. The financial shockwave that started with a website crash has now become full-blown war on the secondary market all across the California desert this Saturday. It's March 7th, 2026. The official Indian Wells website might say it's down for maintenance. But the real story is a massive scandal on StubHub that's absolutely torching the bank accounts of tennis fans across the globe. Word on the street is that seats within the first 10 rows of Stadium 3, which originally went for a reasonable $50, are now being scalped on the secondary market for the unbelievable sum of $8,000 to $10,000. The insane part is that the demand to see Alex Eala's debut is now officially higher than the resale price for a front row seat at the Wimbledon men's final. Experts are completely stunned because they have never witnessed a qualifier or an unseeded player ignite a financial firestorm that has utterly destroyed the WTA's entire pricing system. This chaos eventually reached the top brass at the tournament, with reports saying the CEO of the BNP Paribas Open was cornered by several angry top-seeded players. These premier athletes, the ones who usually guarantee sold-out crowds, are reportedly panicking because the Eala mania is drowning out their own matches. One of Europe's top 5 players allegedly complained, "Why are fans paying more to see a 20-year-old than they are to watch the world's #1 seed?" The CEO's reply was a cold, hard reality check that has left the entire WTA establishment speechless. He reportedly stared the player down and said, "The market speaks for itself. They aren't buying tickets for a tennis match, they're buying tickets for a country. If you want her prices, you need her fans." That blunt admission has shattered the egos of the elite tour. But the panic isn't just with the players. The security crew at the physical box office has supposedly put out a call for emergency backup, as hundreds of fans shut out by the website crash have now formed a human wall around the stadium. They are said to be desperate, throwing huge cash offers at anyone who manages to walk out with a printed ticket. The radio silence from the ticketing office is fueling online riots on Reddit and Twitter, where the hashtag Eala ticket scandal is trending worldwide. The undeniable truth is that the Filipino fan base has created its own economy here in the desert, where pride in their nation is valued higher than the American dollar. One security guard was supposedly overheard saying, "I've seen the crowds for Federer and Nadal, but I have never seen people who would sell their cars for a single 2-hour match." This kind of loyalty is on another level. The response from the locker room is now pure psychological warfare. Word is starting to leak that Dayana Yastremska's camp is having a complete mental breakdown. It's dawning on them that when she steps on that court, she's not just facing some girl from the Philippines, she's facing an opponent who carries more economic clout than most Grand Slam champions. The noise coming from those $8,000 seats is going to be absolutely deafening. The brutal fact is that the establishment wanted to keep Eala under the radar, but her supporters short-circuited the whole system, making her the most valuable player in the history of Indian Wells. The IT engineers are supposedly furious because every time they manage to reboot the site, another massive wave of Filipino fans from Europe and Asia slams the servers, triggering yet another system-wide crash. They are said to be weighing a last resort option, taking the ticketing system offline completely and selling only physical wristbands at the entrance to prevent the servers from dying for good. The economic bombshell that went off inside the Indian Wells desert has just hit its shockwave peak this Saturday afternoon, March 7, 2026. While the WTA organization was still scrambling over their crashed servers, a private transaction reportedly shattered all records for attendance at a first-round match. Word is spreading that a Hollywood A-lister, known to be a huge supporter of the Natal Academy, paid an unbelievable $15,000 for just one courtside seat to see Alex play Dayana Yastremska. The unfiltered truth is that the demand has become so overwhelming that even celebrities have to fight on the resale market just to see the prodigy play. Experts are stunned, realizing that Eala has transformed a simple tennis match into a worldwide cultural bidding war. The harsh reality is that for what one Eala ticket costs, you could go out and purchase a luxury vehicle. But the Pinoy army couldn't care less. They're here for their queen. But then this data explosion suddenly took a deeply personal turn inside the player lounge. News leaked that when Eala was told that her fans, the everyday hardworking people, were being gouged by scalpers for thousands of dollars, she was visibly distraught. Onlookers claim Alex had a tense showdown with the tournament director, allegedly telling him, "My fans are everything to me. They can't get in if the prices are this insane. So open the practice courts for free. Let them come see me there." This heartfelt demand sent an emotional current through the entire Filipino community worldwide. While the tournament organizers see nothing but dollar signs, Eala sees only the people. Her dedication to the average fan has completely exposed the corporate avarice of the event planners. One fan was apparently overheard in a desperate plea outside the stadium gates. "She is playing for all of us, not for the billionaires in the VIP suites." The anxiety gripping the WTA board has now morphed into a full-blown logistical crisis. Because the soaring prices have drawn such a colossal crowd of fans without tickets, the security team has reportedly issued a warning about a potential large-scale breach of the stadium's perimeter. The confidential security strategy was blown wide open when word got out that the tournament director is now frantically trying to move the match to Stadium 1, the second largest tennis stadium on the planet, simply to handle the tidal wave of interest. This last-minute change is a major slight to the seeded players who are scheduled for the main court, but the numbers don't lie. Eala is the economic engine driving Indian Wells 2026. Back in the locker rooms, the mental pressure is becoming unbearable. Dayana Yastremska's camp is said to be absolutely livid and overwhelmed by the circus-like conditions. They understand that the sound coming from people who paid $15,000 for their seats is going to be explosive. Every single time Alex scores a point, the thunderous roar from that crowd will feel like a powerful earthquake. The brutal fact is that the WTA attempted to sideline the Pinoy Queen with a challenging draw, but the free market completely broke their system. The establishment is now reeling, totally unable to combat the power of her following and the spirit of the Philippines. The financial tremor that started with a simple server crash has now intensified to a critical meltdown point on this Saturday night, March 7, 2026. As the sun finally sets on the California desert model, Here's the untold story. The resale market didn't just break the records, it completely torched them. Word on the street is that a single VIP luxury suite for Alex Eala's debut against Dayana Yastremska was just flipped on the secondary market for an unbelievable $20,000. The harsh reality is that for a 2-hour tennis match, someone just dropped the kind of money most people use for a down payment on a house. Experts are absolutely furious because they're realizing her fan base didn't just buy up the tickets. They have completely torn down the entire financial structure of the WTA. One well-known sports economist was apparently caught on a live feed, totally freaking out, saying, "We are not watching a tennis match anymore. We are witnessing a global power shift where the demand is off the charts and the prices are earth-shattering." But the chaos really hit a fever pitch down in the player tunnel. Sources are leaking that the noise from the 16,000 fans inside Stadium 1 was so intense that the walls themselves started to vibrate. Alex Eala's coach, watching the sheer terror on the faces of the rival team, dropped a chilling 5-word warning that has since exploded online. He apparently leaned over to Yastremska's coach and whispered, "You can't coach against destiny." That single powerful statement completely destroyed his opponent's morale. The entire WTA establishment is in stunned silence, finally understanding that when a player commands this kind of financial and emotional backing, all the game plans and strategies become completely useless. The pressure on Yastremska is way beyond just hitting a tennis ball now. It's about facing the raw energy of a fan base that paid astronomical prices just to see her lose. The situation in the security control room is now pure chaos. We're hearing that because the ticket prices went so insane. Thousands of enraged ticketless fans have formed a massive crowd at the main gates. They are reportedly in a panic, trying to bribe guards with huge amounts of cash just for standing room in the hallways. There's a complete blackout on the official attendance numbers, as organizers suspect they might have 20,000 people packed into a 16,000-seat stadium. This complete breakdown is a massive humiliation for the tournament's safety team. One top security contractor was heard screaming, "I don't care what the ticket costs. We are losing the perimeter." Ella's supporters are simply taking over the entire venue. Inside the stadium, the owners of the luxury suites are just staring in utter disbelief. Billionaires who forked over $20,000 are reportedly stunned into silence, completely drowned out by the roar of the crowd in the cheap seats. The power of the dollar has been crushed by the power of pure passion. The explosion on social media has generated over 80 million impressions in the last hour alone. The brutal truth is that Alex Eala has broken the entire system of professional tennis. She's not just a big name anymore. She is a financial and cultural phenomenon that the WTA is powerless to stop. The digital shockwave that started with a crashed server has reached its absolute stunning conclusion here, on this Saturday night, March 7th, 2026, as the final point was won in Stadium 1. The fallout from this event was felt all across the California desert. The real story is that the Alex Eala effect didn't just break the ticketing system. It fundamentally rebooted the entire business of professional tennis. Word is now getting out that the final revenue for tonight's match, counting ticket sales, merchandise, and the global streaming rights, has apparently shattered every record for a non-final match in the history of the WTA. The experts are losing their minds because they've realized a 20-year-old from the Philippines just generated more financial buzz in one night than some tournaments do in an entire year. Here's the brutal truth: the WTA establishment has officially lost control. The Pinoy army is calling the shots now. But the most insane highlight of this whole saga was the final statement from the CEO of Indian Wells. During a bombshell press conference, he was questioned about whether the skyrocketing ticket prices were a mistake. His answer sent a shockwave through millions of fans and left the old guard totally speechless. He supposedly said the price tag had nothing to do with the seat. The price was high because you were buying a piece of history. Alex Eala isn't a player. She is a national treasure. This stunning admission completely demolishes the idea that Alex is just another ranked opponent. At this point, she's the most valuable attraction in the entire sport. The explosion on social media has already passed 100 million impressions, with fans calling tonight the moment the sport was changed for good. In the security control room, sheer panic has finally given way to absolute awe. Word is that as Alex was walking off the court, the sound wave from the 16,000 fans inside and the 50,000 more outside watching the big screens was so immense that it was picked up as a seismic event by local sensors. The stadium was completely hers. One elite security contractor was reportedly seen tearing up, saying, "I've guarded kings and presidents, but I've never seen a country embrace an athlete like this. You just can't put a price on that kind of passion." The incredible reality is that while a few people paid $20,000 for a box seat, the soul of the evening belonged to the fans who didn't pay a single cent, but instead gave every ounce of their spirit to their queen. The reaction in the locker room is now one of pure respect. Top-seeded players who were furious in Part 1 are now said to be scrambling to get a photo with Alex, finally understanding that her financial gravity will lift the prize money for everybody. The total media blackout about her next match has already triggered a second round of server meltdowns. The power structure of the WTA has been completely rewritten, and the new operating system is coded in the colors of the Philippines. The final ruling from this Saturday night is nothing short of explosive. Alex didn't just defeat Yastremska, she took apart the establishment, torched the record books, and definitively claimed her spot as the golden jewel of world tennis. As the lights go down in Stadium 1, one thing is crystal clear. The prices were out of this world. The Queen was triumphant, and what began as an invasion has now become a coronation. Thank you for following along on this 5-part explosive journey into the ticket price phenomenon of 2026. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop Alex Eala, the Priceless Queen, in the comments below. The site may be down, but her legacy is at an all-time high.